Please welcome Zeina Dagher, the CEO of Emaar Entertainment. I always want to say you're the CEO of Burj Khalifa, right? Because that's the, I think when everyone thinks of Dubai, right, that's one of the things that that they think about. So can you just very quickly walk us through the entertainment, the assets within the portfolio?
Sure. Before going into that, I'd like to let you know that yes, I am, as the title, the CEO of Emaar Entertainment. But recently within Emaar, we introduced the no title within the whole organization. So I am Zeina Dagher from Emaar.
Well, wait a second. What does that mean? I mean, that's really interesting. What is a no title title?
That's something that was introduced very recently within Emaar. I think it was almost 1 year ago, or maybe a little bit more than that, where the vision of Emaar is everybody should be equal, everybody should be the same, and any team member, whether you're a junior or a senior team member, you should be accessible to everybody. You should be doing the same, and you should be doing the same work, and privileges are equal among everybody. So an external client, an external operator would be reaching out to a CEO or any other team member, and the work should continue the same, and accessibility, response, speed, and efficiency should be the same across all levels.
Can you give an example? What does that mean? So if I'm an intern working at the Burj Khalifa, I can just come and I can knock on your door if I have a complaint about something? Or?
We have no doors in our offices anyways.
Okay.
Our offices are completely open to everybody, and the idea is if somebody from outside the company reached out to this intern, the response should be the same if this person reached out to the intern or to myself. The response time, the issue should be solved, anything and everything between the CEO and this intern should be equal.
Everything between the CEO and the intern should be equal. Okay.
Yeah.
So
in terms of efficiency, speed, and getting things done.
What was missing? So,
I opened up a door.
You did. Sorry, this was not on my list of questions. But so, what was taking place in the organization prior that led to this? Like, why?
I think the vision of our chairman is to reduce the bureaucracy, reduce the levels, and make and just lead to the future. Like this is the future. You don't need to reach to a senior member or a CEO to get things done. Anything and everything should be done within the organization across all levels. And it brings team members together. It gives team members equal responsibility. It empowers lower or junior staff to take decisions, to make decisions as they should be. Yeah.
Okay. Super. Okay. That really interesting.
And I think we're the first to do it in Dubai.
So there's no title.
There's no title.
So you are no longer the CEO of Emaar Entertainment.
I am Zeina Dagher.
Okay.
From Emaar Entertainment. That's who I am.
So does anyone report to you?
Yes. It's a structure.
So the structure hasn't changed.
The structure hasn't changed.
Okay.
Like the structure hasn't changed, but to team members, to people from outside, I am Zeina Dagher, and if I reach out to Doug from Burj Khalifa or Zeina Dagher or any other member from the aquarium, for example, you should be able to solve issues as much as I should be able to solve issues. So it empowers you and it empowers the team, and it gets us closer to the team members.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that threw me for a loop. No, that's okay. Fascinating. So, okay. What was my question? All right. So the question was. So can you very quickly?
An overview.
Just walk us through the key attractions and assets in the portfolio.
Emaar Entertainment has been, one of the leading operators of entertainment and leisure since 2008. We are home to more than 11 attractions, FECs, cinemas, portfolios altogether. Some of our flagship entertainment attractions are Real Cinema, the observation deck at Burj Khalifa, Zeina, ice rink, Dubai Aquarium within Dubai. We are currently expanding our operations to Saudi Arabia, and we are expanding some of our SVCs and cinemas to Bahrain as well. So within this year onwards, we will be taking our operations and our attractions to Saudi Arabia and Bahrain as well.
So can you walk us through how is travel coming back? It certainly seems like in Dubai it's coming back pretty fast, pretty fast and furious.
Yes.
So and I was very different when we spoke, last year virtually at ATM. So what's happening? What are you seeing in the market?
As you can see, ATM is back. It's I think the first that we're actually meeting in person. 2021 has been very good. 2022 has been great so far. We keep comparing our numbers, our revenue, our footfall to 2019. 2019 will always be our benchmark. It was, throughout many years, our best year ever, 2019. However, we're seeing 2022 hitting 2019. If we compare our revenue and footfall, I'll give you some percentage numbers that I'm able to share. 2021, some of our tourist attractions like Burj Khalifa, Dubai Aquarium, we were at approximately, say, between 55 to 65% of 2019. 2022, we have exceeded 2019. Our footfall, our revenue has just been going up the roof. So we're very grateful for that. Dubai has done so much to make sure tourism is back, residents come back to the mall, shopping is back. So many destinations that Dubai is doing to attract visitors from all over the world. Dubai has proven safe during COVID. Dubai has proven it's able to deal with the pandemic in I think personally in better than any other country in the world. So 2022 has definitely come back.
What markets are coming back? Like where is that demand coming from?
Yes, Russia is coming back. India is coming back. Africa is coming back.
So Russia is coming back.
Yes, Russia is definitely on the top 5. India and Africa. China is still a challenge for all of us.
Yeah.
One thing I can tell you about China, it used to bring 18 to 20% of our footfall and our revenue across our tourist attractions like Burj Khalifa and Dubai Aquarium. It still remains a very big challenge for us. But despite not having the China market, we're still doing very well. We're working a lot. We're coming up with new strategies to attract new markets like Africa and India and Russia. But we're also working with the residents market. I mean, this is a market on itself for us. The U.A.E. residents, the Dubai residents, the Abu Dhabi residents, outside the U.A.E., outside Dubai, this is a resident market for us.
So with everything coming back so quickly, are we just like pretending the last 2 years didn't happen? Or is there something, is the customer that's coming back different? Are they behaving differently? Are they expecting something?
I think people are hungry to come back. People are just tired of the closure that happened in 2020. And we're seeing the customer reaction being very positive. Our lines are coming back, our queues are coming back. If it comes to behavior, they're booking in advance much more. They're planning their tickets or they're planning their visits to attractions much more in advance. But in general, we see this positive vibe of people want to travel to Dubai. Families want to take their kids out. They're not as restricted as before, where we need to make sure everything is, sanitized as much. It's still a priority for us, but I think people are past that. People just want to go back to normal life, seeing our attractions back open, seeing lines back open, seeing Dubai and taking care of guests and tourists and destinations like the beaches, like shopping malls, everything is back. So when we see those smiles on people and kids, it makes us very, very happy to see that.
But what about the business? I mean, besides the fact that nobody has a title anymore, which I still like, I think we need another whole session just to talk about that. But the business has to have changed. I mean, so what changes? And this is something we talked about a year ago. In fact, businesses had to go through changes given the circumstances. What changes were temporary? What changes have endured? How is the Emaar business, or maybe take even just one of the attractions, for example, because they're so different. What are changes that are now permanent, that are made the business maybe different and ready for a different future?
The world has changed so much. Our team 3 years ago is not the same team as it is now. We had to go through changes to take care of our business, to survive, and to make sure that we come out of this pandemic on our feet. And if we did not take those drastic changes or difficult decisions, we would not be here right now, and we would not be doing better than what we did in 2019. Changes like shrinking our team, cost savings, prioritizing our team, prioritizing our needs, and prioritizing our spending more on digital and less on unnecessary business decisions in general. And what we realized is we can do more with much less. We can do more with a smaller team. We're much more efficient with a smaller team. We can do much more digital spends, social media spends with less. If we target the right group of people, we target the right customers, we work with the right operators, we can do more with less. And this is what 2020, 2021 taught us. We are bigger than 2019 with a smaller team.
So, for example, with regard to the digital spend, like what's an example of let's say one thing that you're doing now that you weren't doing 3 years ago that's really central to the business?
I think what we used to do in the past that we're not doing now is, for example, social media. Our number one spend goes on social media. Our number one marketing spend goes on social media and goes on search engines.
What platforms?
Our own platforms.
Like no, but you said social
like
media. Like what social? Yeah.
Instagram is number one for us. Yeah. Facebook, not so much.
What about TikTok?
TikTok, yes. Some of our attractions are big on TikTok. Attractions like e-cart, like Zabil Sports District, something that's for the younger generations. Yeah. Teenagers, 13, 14, 15-year-olds, are all on TikTok. So we are diverting our marketing spend on TikTok and on Instagram. For example, we're not doing, or we're doing less of radio advertising. We're doing no print, zero print at all. But we're taking advantage of what assets we have within our malls, what screens we have within our malls, what hoardings that we have in our malls that we can. So we're utilizing Emaar's assets as a whole and taking advantage of that. We're working with Address Hotels. An Address Hotel is an Emaar brand. In the past couple of months, occupancy at our Address Hotels was at 87%, 90% occupancy. So most of the visitors at Address Hotels are tourists. So how do our attractions work with Address Hotels to make sure that 50% at least of the tourists that are staying at Address Hotels visit our attractions? So we're working closer with one another.
So what about on the distribution side? So how travelers are booking and through what channels? We saw through the pandemic, and I showed some data earlier where offline to online booking just gone through the roof. Part of that was driven by almost mandatory structural changes. We had to be capacity management, contact tracing, so attractions had to require advanced booking.
Correct.
Is that continuing, and what have you seen there?
just so we understand, always split our attractions into two different attractions, or our portfolio into two different groups: tourist attractions and resident attractions. Resident attractions are something like Kids Zeina, Real Cinema, Dubai Ice Rink, where it's not very much related or big on travel agents, OTAs, and DMCs. It's a resident that comes directly into the mall and purchases their ticket from the counter directly. Something like the Burj Khalifa, something like Dubai Aquarium, where the majority, I can say, 80% of our sales comes from tourists. And those tourists, we've seen the behavior change. During the pandemic, our ticket sales that came through OTAs has dropped. Most of the ticket sales from the tourists has gone through DMCs, where they want a full experience. They want to book their hotel, they want to book their ticket attractions, they want to book their airlines. So they want that full experience coming from a full a DMC rather than individual OTAs. That is changing a little bit. Now, with time, we're seeing OTA ticket sales going up, but they're still a major contributor to our attraction, and we work very close with them.
The OTAs.
Yes.
So, but now you had, I think when we spoke last year, you indicated that you really thought the direct, the direct online channel was the way to go.
That's my personal, yeah.
And why is it's your personal? So why is that your personal? Well, is it your view as a trend or a personal preference?
For me, it's a personal preference to book directly rather to book than an OTA.
Why?
It's just easier. I don't know. Like
me
as a traveler.
We have a panel later today with a couple of OTAs, so we'll yes, we can.
Me as a traveler, I'd rather book everything myself personally than go through OTA. But that's just my personal preference.
So let's say you're going to a destination for the first time.
Yeah.
Where now you're the traveler. You're not you're no longer the CEO of Burj Khalifa anyway.
Yes.
So let's say you're going to a place you haven't gone to before, and you're looking to discover things. So how would you find them if you
Google?
Okay.
And that's my personal preference, but again, there's still a market for DMCs. There's still market for OTAs, and again, they're a very big contributor to our revenue, and we continue to work with them. We continue to work and make sure that we are partners together. We do well, they do well. They do well, we do well. It's a joint partnership, and we are there to make sure that their business succeeds as much as our business succeeds as well.
How many distributors do you work with? I don't need an exact number, but is it?
It's a very big number.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It ranges from small to medium to extremely large operators.
We just talked about this just before with with the law from PrioHub. What's your take on that model? Like, are you looking for solutions to streamline that, or do you see that as basically yet another middleman in between you and the OTA and another cost center?
I think what PrioHub is doing is very beneficial to small and medium operators, where they're not able to integrate with the big players. However, when it comes to Burj Khalifa in specific, we have this integration, we have this technology for the past 8 to 10 years. We have that. So we don't work with PrioHub and specifically as Burj Khalifa to integrate with the big players like Get Your Guide, like Via Tours, like Booking.com. We are directly integrated with them. We will spend money on this technology to make sure that we are integrated directly. But on the other hand, we still work with PrioHub for smaller tour operators to be able to be integrated with us. Small agents that don't have the technology, the spend, the money to be integrated with Burj Khalifa, we don't want to lose them. We still want to work with them. So this is where PrioHub comes in and acts as a middleman to be integrated with Burj Khalifa.
One of the topics we discussed earlier with Dubai Holding Entertainment CEO Fernando Arroyo was about dynamic pricing and the future of pricing within the attraction sector. It's quite behind hotels and airlines, but it seems to be a hot topic. Is this something that you're doing? Do you agree with that?
Dynamic pricing, variable pricing,
Well, but there's a big difference.
There's a big difference.
Right?
We don't have dynamic pricing per se.
Yeah.
We have variable pricing, where we have different prices for different days, different times, different seasons. It's not an automated. Price change. We set the price in advance. We set the price based on the supply and demand of tickets. Are we going to reach to the extent of variable pricing where we have an independent ticketing system setting the price on its own, going up and down? I'm not sure yet. This is definitely something that's on the table for us. But to what extent are we going to allow the system to 100% set the price based on supply and demand? I personally think that we will still need to have the control and set prices on our own.
Can distribution in our industry support that? I mean, my understanding is that typically you'll contract or negotiate out maybe a year or at least a season.
Those are some of the challenges,
in advance. So if you decide to go into a dynamic pricing model, is that something that your partners can support, or is that a...
Those are some of the challenges that we were looking at, because some of our operators, our partners, book 1 year in advance and there's a set price. So how do I give you a price that I gave you, a year ago, and then closer to the date that changes, and then a person that's walking in probably pays, 2 or 3x that number. So those are the challenges that we are looking at. But we also say, how are airlines doing it? How are hotels doing it? If an airline can do it, and airlines do work with travel trade and operators, what kind of model are they using that we can learn from? That's definitely something for us to look at. And this practice is there. It's not here in this part of the world, but it is in Europe. It is in U.S. We have seen demos in Disneyland, demos in Universal Studios that do have dynamic pricing. How they work with walk-ins versus operators that book a year in advance, this is still a challenge for us.
Yeah. One of the big challenges facing the industry this year seems to be hiring, inflation, staff shortages, and just broadly, this kind of geopolitical uncertainty. It seems like as soon as we came out of the pandemic, then we had the war in Ukraine. Yeah. We have inflationary pressures. Yes. Everyone's struggling to hiring. How do you, well, we're just about at the end, but this is a big topic. But how do you think about, how are you contending with some of these challenges in 2022?
I think what we have gone through in 2020 and how we have come out of it standing on our feet has taught us that any challenge that we go through, we are able to get out of. And also we realized that every day is a new day, and there's always going to be unexpected challenges that are just going to come up that we have to be ready for. Political challenges, financial challenges, recessions, those are all something that is of concern for us. We are in the business of entertainment. We are in the business of ticket sales. Customers have become price conscious. Customers are not spending as much. We are seeing that, if a family of 3 kids, a mom and a dad coming into our attraction, that's a lot of money to spend.
And they're not spending as much.
They're not spending as much.
But your costs must be going up. Have you raised prices?
Some of our attractions, yes, we did look at slightly increasing our prices, but it doesn't come with a price increase only. It comes with other offerings. It's too competitive for us to just increase our prices and not give any other added-on benefits to it. So what we're doing is we're changing our tactical offers. We're changing how we market to the guests and what we offer them. We're bundling a lot of our attractions together. We're offering, buy a ticket to a certain attraction, get a 50% at another attraction that a customer did not visit before. So we have to keep in mind such challenges to make sure that we have repeat visitors, especially for attractions that are residence-based attractions.
Well, a lot of changes, it sounds like, at Emaar Entertainment, including your title. Right.
You like that.
Well, as of today, I'm still the CEO of Arrival. We might need to have a conversation about this. So Bruce, this is noted. So, ladies and gentlemen, no longer the CEO of Emaar Entertainment, Zeina Dagher.
Thank you so
very
much.
much.
Thanks.